Hey everyone, it is Luke Frye, Washington CPA and co-founder of TimberTax. And we are toward the end of June, which is hard to believe that we're officially in Pride Week and there's no big Pride celebrations going on really anywhere, but certainly exciting to see the LGBTQ community getting behind the Black Lives Matter protests. So strange times, and they continue to keep us on our toes with all these deadlines as far as July 15th. So I really do want to talk a lot about the PPP update, the CARES Act update that I posted in our private Facebook group. So if you haven't seen that, make sure you check that out. Really big update as well. I want to talk about the July 15th deadline. So July 15th is when you need to make sure that we either have your extension filed for your personal income tax return, so your 1040 with your Schedule C or just your 1040. And if we're not going to have everything in time to file your return, we'll need to make sure that we're filing an extension by July 15th. And our goal is really to file as many as possible. If we've decided to already file an extension for you, you should be notified of that already. We're really working harder and harder not to do anything last minute. It just causes a lot of unnecessary stress on us and on you, which increases the chances of mistakes. And it's just not necessary to do that. So certainly after July 15th, we're going to take a little bit of a breather and then revisit our timeline and communicate with you as much as possible. Part of why you need to know that is if your return's not done before July 15th, it probably won't be done before August 15th. So just to help manage the plan there. But the more exciting news than deadlines is really around the PPP. So many of you who are sole proprietors or single owner businesses reporting on Schedule C, so you might be a single member LLC, applied for a Paycheck Protection Program loan. Now, some really big things happened in the last couple of weeks, and I was really waiting until it was more official before announcing it, and I posted it, like I said, last week or earlier this week. It's hard to keep track of time in our private Facebook group, but say you made a net $100,000 or more in 2019, and you're the only person in your business on Schedule C. That means you qualified for the full maximum $20,833 for the Payroll Protection Program loan. Now, the plan was that just 8/52 of that would just automatically be forgiven. So if I just quickly do 8/52 times 20 grand, let's see, 8/52 times 20 is saying 3,000 would automatically be forgiven. I'm not sure why that's not working for me. Because I'm doing math live is not what's going on, but 8/52 of the 100,000, that's right. So 15,000 would automatically be forgiven. That means the other 6,000 or so you would have to pay back. Well, the good news is that there's this alternative payroll period that you can use, the 2.5 months or 24 weeks. And so for Schedule C's, really, if you got any of the money, you now can use the full amount as fully forgivable. Yes, if you qualify for PPP as a sole prop and there were no big changes from your tax return, like if you submitted with a draft Schedule C, then you're going to get the full amount forgiven as long as you follow the rules. What are the rules? So you need to be paying yourself. Okay, so you should be transferring at most $8,333 per month from your business account to your personal account each month. And so the other thing is, if you were on unemployment, you should have gone off unemployment. It was for the 8 weeks, and now it's actually for the full 2.5 months. So what does that mean? That means when you apply for forgiveness, you shouldn't have anything that you owe back. This is great news because my previous advice was make sure you set aside that $6,000 to pay back. That now all is just cash in your pocket. There is a new easy form to submit for the forgiveness. check with your lender directly on their process. They should be letting you know. They also might be adding on interest, and that's fine because it should all be forgiven along with the loan when that application is approved for forgiveness. So it makes sense that they're adding on interest, probably not going to have to pay it. So make sure that you watch out for emails from your lender on that. The other thing to keep in mind is the state of Washington is still really behind. If you're in Washington and you've applied for unemployment, they're still fairly behind, but they're working to catch up. So if you've submitted a claim and still haven't heard, you probably will. Their goal is to get to you. Also, they were a huge victim of a ton of fraud, global, international fraud. And so I recommend you actually create an account if you haven't already applied and check in on your employment security account to make sure that nobody else has submitted fraudulent claims in your name. Definitely something I want to get ahead of on that. I think that's really it. July 15th is a big deadline. We're really working to have all of your second quarter projections to you by July 3rd. We're still waiting on a lot of information from people, so we're planning to give you calls and help come up with a good plan to make sure that all makes sense. Yeah, Q2 next year is going to be June 15th again, assuming nothing like this happens again. But this time is July 15th. If you have made a lot less this year and maybe you don't have cash on hand, maybe skipping a Q2 payment is a good idea. If you're not sure, you can always reach out and we can help you think through what the best plan of attack is. So as always, feel free to comment on this video and I will do my best to get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you so much.